Today's episode is about the Brown Munde. It's been a crazy week for us, man. Brown Munde 2022 Takeover. India-Pakistan match. India won. Diwali. AP selling out Scotia Arena.
Huge.
Jaljeet selling out Scotia Arena.
Huge.
And our boy Rishi, bro.
Oh yeah.
PM, UK, Queensland. It's been a crazy week for us. And to summarize this whole thing, Brown Munde Takeover 2022. Today we have a special guest. His name is Deep. Welcome to the show. Usually you're in the background helping us with the camera, with the mic and everything. So thank you for all of that. Today's episode is about a lot of the Punjabi music culture, just like in terms of the industry talk and cricket, the World Cup. We'll talk about that.
Dude, that game was something else.
Yeah, and we'll get into all of that today. So, I couldn't think of anyone better to have on the pod to talk about this stuff.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, man. Cheers to that, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
So, first thing, holy shit, I don't know where to start. There's so much to do.
So much
to talk about. It's been a crazy. You know what? Maybe we need a month too.
We definitely do.
We need a month too now. I think we qualify for a month.
Yeah, we definitely do.
After all this crazy week, we definitely qualify for a month.
100%.
First off, happy Diwali, and how was your Diwali? What did you do?
Happy Diwali to you as well.
Sir.
Honestly, Diwali for me this year was very. It was spent with my family for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most of it, connected with friends and family, gave them all my wishes throughout the day.
Nice.
And I had work since it fell on a Monday. It was unfortunate, but after that, after work kind of finished, went to the temple, went to the Gurdwara, and so I actually went to Dixie Gurdwara, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like a yearly ritual. But man, the amount of people that were at Dixie, dude, it blew my mind, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen that many people, especially post-COVID.
Yeah.
I think
That's awesome. That's good to see.
yeah. No, it was very nice to see, but
Yeah.
honestly, I was just scared for a second because I definitely think that we definitely exceeded capacity. Dude, the lineups were all the way outside, like towards a parking lot. I've never seen something like that before.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was special. It was really, really nice to see everyone coming out. And even where the diyas were lighting up, dude, it was something that was spectacular to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, I kind of did the puja and the ardas back at home.
Yeah.
And did a bit of fireworks.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to, right? At least, exactly. Oh yeah, a lot of sweets, man.
Right. What's your favorite? Like, okay, so if you had to pick one, it's tricky when, like, I don't know, for puja, right? When we do puja and stuff, there's always like the pandit's always like, prasad. And my eyes like on burfi always. I'm like, yo, you better give me burfi, bro. It is very random what they give you. So,
dude, for me, it's either kaju katli, or cham cham. Those are my two favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the listeners, desserts are like big part of this holiday and this festival.
Right.
Eating the sweets and then even eating good food is a big part of this holiday. And like I was saying, I think we need to make this a holiday. I mean, New York is already talking about that, right?
Yeah,
New York is getting.
I think they officially approved it, if I'm not mistaken, or at least it's very close to that approval stage.
Exactly. I think Trudeau needs to come through and just do that for us, because I also, like you, also worked during the day and then then spent the whole day with the family doing all the rituals and just like celebrating family, friends, and everything. Fireworks. This year, I felt like the fireworks were like people overdid it a little bit. Like I felt that. Like I think so too. I felt the change over the years.
I think so too.
This year is something different. It felt like India almost.
Oh yeah.
Where like in my area, I heard fireworks till 4 a.m. and it was a weekday.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's a little bit too much, but it was fun still, right? But I hope people cleaned up after they did that. I hope they did that, but because we gotta make sure as a community.
For sure. Because otherwise it looks
bad on us.
It looks
Yes.
bad on us, right?
Yes.
So surprisingly, so I woke up and I saw that Environment Canada, or I think the Health Regulation of Ontario, or something like that.
On Twitter, I believe.
Yes. So I saw that tweet from CP24. They basically said that they've advised against severe fireworks on Diwali. And there was a lot of backlash on that tweet, right? If you remember, basically a lot of people were like, "Hey, you know what? Why are you targeting us? Why is it only the Indian community?" Yeah, exactly. Because you've seen it on kind of other occasions as well. Canada Day, Victoria Day.
Exactly.
It's always there's always fireworks. So it's like, why are you targeting the Indian community? And I think they actually took that back, right? They took that tweet back. But I think it was hurtful. But honestly speaking, they did the right thing, right?
It was more like a reminder. It could have been worded
differently. Yeah,
like more of like a kind reminder instead of, hey, here's a hard fact or whatever the hell. They sounded pretty rude. Yeah,
it came across offensive. But back to your point, I think we definitely did overdo it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people also complained. There was a lot of backlash the next day saying that, like you said, people were doing fireworks till 3-4 a.m. man.
Yeah.
On a Monday night.
And that's not what Diwali is all about.
It's not. So exactly.
I mean, yeah. I know you also went to the AP concert.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We talked about that earlier, saying that's part of the name of this episode is going to be Brown Munde Takeover 2022. Part of that reason is AP has done something that's historical, and also Diljit has to play a huge part in that whole wave of fame that Punjabi music is getting right now.
Dude, even Karan Aujla too. Like I know he had a concert recently as well. Although he didn't do it to the magnitude of Scotiabank Arena.
Okay.
But even his show, I think he did it at Hershey Center or Paramount Center, whatever it's called now. And that did a lot of numbers as well.
And I feel like Punjabi music in general is doing doing numbers.
Oh yeah.
And not just tickets, I'm seeing streaming numbers as well.
Streaming numbers, yeah.
We'll get into that more, but just AP concert. How was your experience? I know we were in the same. I was there too.
Yeah.
How was your experience? How's the floor and the vibes in there? Yeah.
So yeah, it was about 10 of us actually, and we luckily secured floor seats way in advance when the tickets went on sale. But dude, that concert, the vibes, the overall atmosphere, the people. It was just amazing, dude. And to do it at a caliber of Scotiabank Arena, right?
History right there, man.
Yeah.
Amazing to see.
For someone that started literally like 3-4 years ago, right? Yeah.
He talked about that
in
his concert.
He did. So I think he came to Canada either in 2015 or 2016,
yes,
and kind of started off as a student and, climbed his way through the ropes.
Yes.
But honestly, man, look at him and look at the caliber. Selling out Scotiabank Arena, not just Scotiabank Arena, the Rogers Center.
Yes.
I think Rogers Arena, whatever it's called in BC.
Yeah.
And then there's the Scotiabank Saddle Dome in Calgary. Unfortunately, the Winnipeg show got cancelled, but then obviously to end off the Canada show at Toronto, I think hands down, the Toronto show was by far
the best.
The
guest on there, the opening acts.
Oh yeah,
amazing. Roy Woods, man.
Roy Woods,
that's
Baka.
Huge. All OVO people
Baka,
opening up.
Gucci, yeah, 3 people from OVO.
When's a lot for a brown man? OVO crew opening up. Like, come on, that's huge.
That's huge.
Like that, he deserves his roses there. And like,
100%.
I think, and just to not talk about this because I didn't want to talk about this, but I got really irked when I saw this stuff. I see a lot of hurtful comments and hurtful TikToks talking about the AP experience, this whole concert, and people are hating. And I was at the concert, right? So like, what I saw was very different than what people are trying to project this whole thing to be. Oh, he's not singing, he's lip syncing, or he's just auto-tuned. But man, like, he wasn't doing all of that. He was actually singing for like at least 60% of the concert.
Yeah.
And there was the hyping, the part, whatever the lip syncing and all that stuff is, it's part of the act. Like, because he was doing so much more. Like, there's dances, there's other acts that are on each song.
Yeah.
There was so much depth to each and every song. There was so much, like, It was very thoughtful. Like, it was an experience of its own, right?
It was art driven.
It is very art driven. Yeah.
The people that recognize art would really appreciate.
Yeah, and the people that keep what I really love, the whole point. He brought out every single person he has worked with. Could be a small feature, could be a big feature.
Right.
Obviously, Gigi has to be there.
Yeah.
But it's like, even like someone who's worked on one song with him was there. All his producers,
100%.
all were there. All the main producers were there. And he's showing love and letting them shine too. Which, in my opinion, no other artist does that.
Yeah.
So to that, that is huge, man. To me, that was like the biggest thing. I'm like, yo, you're doing this with your team, letting everybody do their thing too, make their money, get their shine. Huge.
Yeah, dude. Like I know. Like, so even when we were on the floor, right? There were times at the concert I was just looking around, and I was seeing all these like camera flashlights, right? Even like you said, like he was really engaging with the crowd. Yeah. Right. He has those moments where where it was a little bit romantic. A lot of them were putting out their flashlights, but and then to switch it to like Brown Munde, right, where everyone was just jumping because when I was on the floor, I could literally feel it move. Yeah. Like everyone was so into it, right?
And he walked into the crowd. That was incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think credit needs to be given where it's due. Yeah. I think a lot of people really don't realize the caliber and the hard work that it took to get to that level.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And the problem about our community is that whenever someone tries to succeed, we try pulling their leg. We try pulling their leg down, right? And it's our people against our people, right? Which is very hurtful.
Sad truth.
It's a sad truth, but honestly, that's just how it is.
It does. And funny story is that as I'm walking into the show and I'm checking in, the security guy's like, there's not many people here today. The first thing he said, oh, the G show was a little more packed. I'm like, it's 7 p.m. and like the act starts at like 9. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and the hate says like the hate's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I was just like why are you comparing him to Diljit? Like Diljit is an icon. Like he has been doing it for years. This guy is like he's on his peak now. Yeah. Diljit's he's the Drake of the Punjabi industry.
100%.
He puts out a single. He puts out an album. It's gonna sell out.
That's fire.
He has done that for years, right? You cannot compare him to Diljit yet, even though they're both did the same thing. They sell out the arena.
I agree.
So that is, in my opinion, very unfair, right? Unfair comparison. You've been to both concerts, right?
I did.
Diljit and that. What are some of the positives from Diljit's concert, and how would you compare the both? Are you able to compare the both? How was your experience with both of those concerts? I mean, if you had to. So
with Diljit, I think it was a lot more organized. Okay. The reason I say that is even in the floor, they had seats. So every row had whatever number of seats. It was mostly meant for families to come in, because I seen a lot of older people that were there, but obviously because of their age, they weren't able to stand up for the entire time. Right. So they were mostly sitting for the concert. But it was a lot more organized. There was less tripping, less hazards. And I know he kept stopping the show to make sure that everyone in the crowd was safe. Yeah. However, AP, I was on the floor, but it was more general admission, right? Yeah. It was first come, first serve. So I know even in front of where we were standing, a lot of people kept pushing and trying to make room for themselves. Yeah. So that was a little bit kind of, that didn't really work out. But in terms of Diljit's concert, one thing I would say, dude, that guy's energy levels, because he was not only was he singing, he was performing, right? He was doing bhangra, he was doing folk music, he had dancers with him, right? And the one thing I really saw from the Toronto concert was that he took these 2 little kids on stage with him. I've seen that, yeah. Right? Yes. And he made them feel so special, right, about themselves. And like I said, it was more family driven,
I think the crowd is a little different. Exactly. Right? So that, I think the outlook of the whole concert changes there, because AP's target market is very much the
younger generation,
crowd.
you know,
And they're gonna be wild. There's gonna be a lot of pushing. That's expected.
Yeah.
Right? What Diljit's is a lot of like, everybody.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Exactly.
Right? So I guess that's what probably is. But yeah, that's awesome, man. And sorry, just to cut you off, Diljit though, like he deserves his roses too.
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%.
I think he has paved the way for a lot of even AP and the group.
Yeah,
he paved the way for that.
Yeah, so I was, you know, when I saw Diljit, you know, headlining Scotiabank Arena, I think he is the first Punjabi artist.
Yes.
I would say he's the first Indian artist as well.
Yes.
Right? To be headlining a solo show in Scotiabank Arena, right? And I think once people realized that, you know, he was able to sell that out, and people like AP, you know, they realized, they said, yeah, there is a lot of people here that really are connected to the Punjabi roots, right? And will end up supporting their artists. So therefore, he said, hey, you know what? Let's give Scotiabank Arena a try as well. Which is awesome, right? And both shows were sold out. But now when you talk about pros and cons, I think there needs to be different categories to this, right? Yeah. One would be sound. So with Diljit, he had a lot of different musicians that were on his side, you know. Whereas AP, he had his, you know, his drummers, his guitar players, his his keyboard player, but I think for him, his music is a little bit different. You know, his music is more engineered to sound a little bit more perfection. You know, they're able to use all these technological advancements to their advantage, right? Yeah. Whereas Diljit, it's mostly folk. It's more musical instruments, as well as his sort of
the style is different.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
They're completely different styles, right? So therefore, obviously, you know, a lot of people say, yeah, AP had a lot of autotune in his voice. Sure, but the thing is that his voice is also very unique. Right? And that's something that a lot of people really like and appreciate about him. Same thing with GG as well, right? And Shinda,
we'll get into it,
right? Oh man, dude, that was something else. Yeah. But even with Diljit, right? Like his voice is something else. His production quality is something else. And both of these artists partnered up with Live Nation, right? To give it the edge. Like, you know, I think one thing that really, I was a little bit the one con that I would say with AP, and this is just for my purpose, his stage wasn't too elevated. That's one thing I realized, because I know, like, in the floor, a lot of people, you know, obviously, like, I'm lucky to have a little bit of a height advantage, but I know some people, for instance, like some of the girls, they weren't that, you know, they weren't able to see, and it was a little bit sad and disappointing, right? Yeah. But I guess, obviously, I think, you know, it's their first time. These are obviously improvement points. Dude, but,
unreal show, though.
For sure.
And, sorry, I had a question about the Diljit thing. Were there any opening acts, or?
So, for Diljit, I don't think there were opening acts.
So, that's incredible. I mean, think about it this way. So, like, AP's concert, which, like, obviously had all his features, which is commendable. He's putting out people. But there were people that are coming on kind of, like, you know, I mean, did AP really get a break, though? He was singing throughout the whole time.
So AP actually started, I think, around 9 or 9:15, and he went till 10:45 or 10:30ish, something like that. With Diljit, he started around 8:30 and he went till 10:30, right? So, but with Diljit,
it's only him. Yeah.
Right? Because he is the one-man show.
Yeah.
But in his show, one thing I did notice was there was a halftime show, right? And the thing is, so he did it on a Saturday, and obviously you know how the city is. Whereas AP was a little bit on a Sunday. You know, a lot of people had work the next day. But with Diljit, he gave that, like, you know, 20-30 minute break. But his show was segmented into two different things. One was a little bit more folk driven. The other one was a little bit modern driven. You know. But again, you know, these aren't apples
he
to
did have
apples
a great
comparison.
Yeah, of course.
But I think both shows were incredible in their own standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, the vibes that AP brought, just the people,
right?
You know,
so let's talk about, people are talking about AP's people. So GG is one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite. Like I believe that I'm a bigger GG fan that I'm an AP fan from the start. Amazing singer, amazing voice, amazing lyrics, everything. One thing I did realize after going to the show, and I'm not trying to like talk shit or anything, but I love the guy. He's my favorite. If I had to pick between the two, I usually went for Gigi.
Okay.
And I was hoping that he's there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was my biggest thing. I mean, I would have been so sad if he wasn't, right?
I feel bad for the people in the States, man.
Yeah. Gigi, no Gigi,
yeah,
right?
Unfortunately, he couldn't make it to the States. I think there's some visa issue going on there.
Yeah. So when I saw him perform, though, I did see that there's a lot of... he could improve a little bit of his performance side of things.
And I think they all can.
But when you compare it, like, you know what? I didn't know why people were like, I'm like, why is AP more popular? Why not? Because usually it's like out here, fucking verses are nasty. Everything is so good. He sounds like amazing on these songs too. Yeah. Like these songs, if AP is on it, like Gigi is equally contributing it to some of the songs even better, right?
Yeah.
And so when you listen to just the audio and you're just a fan, I felt like AP's more just maybe outgoing and more, he wants to jump into the crowd, go into the crowd, do this. Well, where else?
He's more energetic.
Yeah, he's more, like when he's performing, he's everywhere.
He's
the stage presence and the crowd control is way better for him. Gigi was there, he was doing his thing. It wasn't bad or anything, but comparison to AP, he was a little like low energy, which I feel like he can improve as he performs more on bigger stages, right? 100%. So that's the biggest thing I noticed. Yeah. But regardless, when he came on, bro, holy fucking shit! Like I was like the whole time I'm okay. I'm hype. But when Gigi came on, I was like, let's go! Like I was screaming. Right? Like I was like, that was the hypest moment for me when Gigi came on for the first time. I was like, oh my god, I'm glad he's there, and he's there's everything. The whole like people are talking about this. Are they still together? What's going on? The new EP doesn't have Gigi on there, and I was hoping they address it at the end. They kind of say something or make a comment about that, but they didn't. But it is almost helping them keep the suspense. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's working towards their it's working for them to kind of keep that suspense.
It's the surprise element and the suspenseful element, right?
Is he going to be there or is he not?
People are curious. People are curious. Like, oh, why hasn't he been on AP's last two projects? Yeah. Right? What's going on there? Are they like, and then people really get into the Instagram side of things too. Yeah. Are they following each other? Yeah. Are they liking each other's pictures? Which they are.
They're commenting on each other. They're commenting.
Dude, I personally think Gigi is working on his own project. I think he has
rightfully so.
Yeah. I think everyone needs to be kind of given a chance to shine. Right?
And also, as an artist, you sometimes want to, if something's working for 100 songs or 20 songs that you did together, whatever, 30, 40 songs you did together, you did it. You're bored of that now. You need something new to do.
Yeah,
you want to 100%. You want to challenge yourself, right? So I'm wondering that maybe that's what it is, or either way, it could be anything, right? But when he came on, amazing. Mm-hmm. I was super hyped. I want to talk about this one moment though, which I have noticed on TikTok. A lot of people are using this example of the one part of the show and talking crap about the show and saying it was trash. There was a moment where the beat was off on a song with Air Paisley was there and the AP was there. Gigi was off on a few seconds. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was that, but something happened. The beats, maybe the production was kind of having an issue. Whatever it was, A.R. Paisley saved the fucking day. Yeah. Yo, shout out to A.R. Paisley, man. This guy's been grinding. He's killing it. The energy level that he had, and then to have that awareness
of what's going on.
Oh, what's going on? How to save that and turn that into a moment and turn it into positive, and nothing happened here, buddy. We're hyped still. We're getting, we're it's that was amazing to see. Yes. That stage presence by him, amazing. Happy for him to be performing at a big stage like that. After he deserves that after all the work he's been putting on. Yeah. So it's really good to see him doing that, and shout out to him for saving the day that day for Gigi. Yeah. I remember that little example, and a lot of people are just using that example saying, "Oh look, it was trash." But I'm like, bro, when for example, this podcast, when I'm talking for an hour, I'm going to mess up for 15 minutes or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're performing for like 3 hours, you're going to mess up for 3 seconds. I'm sorry. That's normal. Human errors.
Yeah.
To use that and to label that as the experience, unfair, and I just, the whole thing, I was...
No, 100%.
Not, people need to give their roses to these guys. They killed it. And yeah, like Punjabi music is just, man, it's taking off.
It is.
We are reaching new heights. We're getting exposures from different part of the world. The Western world is accepting us more with that Punjabi music. Bollywood is being a wannabe right now.
Yeah, dude. Any music they get, they want to take our music and do a 2.0 segment.
Don't get me started on that. I get it. Yeah. Oh my god. They take every single classic Punjabi music and they turn it into the shittiest version of it. I'm sorry, lack of words, but the shittiest version of it. And every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh my god, why did you have to ruin this song for me? Why?
I know.
I'm just done with that. And why did I say that Bollywood is being wannabe? It's just funny because like all these Bollywood actors are just like all over, like playing like Sidhu Moosewala, or they're playing AP, or they're just like when AP show happened in India, these celebrities are showing up and stuff like, which is good to see. But it's like, yeah, but where were y'all when like Punjabi music, like you need to like rep it more.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Punjab in general, they never rep anything.
They never rep anything, yeah.
Right?
It's sad.
It's sad. But now that Western world and the Western world is accepting Punjabi people, AP, Diljit, all that, now Bollywood's like, oh yeah, oh my god, these guys out there love Punjabi music. Okay, cool. Let us also love it now.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I kind of have a little beef with that.
Yeah.
But Bollywood, you could be a little better. Come on, man, you gotta show love before. That's an example to our own people. Need to show more love to our own people before you see someone else do it.
Yeah.
And that like Sidhu thing, right? Like Drake started repping it. All of a sudden, all the Indian people that are not Punjabi are like, "Yo, Sidhu Moosewala," right? I'm just like, bro, where were y'all when everything happened? Like, or like when he was on the top, where are you guys, right? And now that Drake is repping him, you guys wanna be like, "Oh, Sidhu's sick."
Yeah.
Right? RIP to the legend. So yeah, and then just Punjabi music in general. What do you think? Let's move into that. The big three right now. The big three for you.
Dude, definitely. I think a conversation doesn't start without Sidhu. I think he's made his impact, his legacy, his mark on the industry, that it will be there for years to come, decades, centuries to come.
Yes, sir.
He's collaborated with all these like UK artists, right? R&B artists. Burna Boy.
Yes.
And all these other UK artists that he's made Punjabi music a transition and a seamless transition into the Western world.
Yes, he's a pioneer for that.
He's a pioneer for that, for sure.
Yes.
There have been other people, but they weren't able to do it to a caliber and to a level that Sidhu has done.
Like Diljit had a song with Tory, but
that came after.
We're slowly getting into that too. But you're right.
Even
Sidhu is probably the first person to crack that door open and open it for a lot of these
even
people.
Karan Aujla came out with Gangster
YG.
with YG, right?
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is these songs have just been coming out this year, right? 2022. Where was all these collaborations back in the day?
Yeah.
Right? Obviously there are people to do it, but to a point where Sidhu's been able to do it, where you have like people like Drake putting him on, right?
Yes,
showing his appreciation to him, right?
Yes.
And even just people around the world. Like he's definitely up there for top 3 for sure.
Yes. I agree. Couldn't agree more. And I think everybody's waiting for that Drake and Sidhu song. That is probably going to be the biggest song. Whatever year it drops,
it exists, man.
It's gonna be the biggest song in that year. If not for for like a couple of years, it's gonna be the biggest song.
Right? I hope it exists, man.
Yes,
I
hope so too.
That would be.
I've heard rumors that it's in the works, but fingers crossed that happens. I know Burna Boy and him are coming out with a song in November. I think that's also in the works. So So definitely, top 3 for sure. Big 3.
Who would you say your second?
Second?
Yeah.
For the big 3, I would put. I mean, without
So now I guess let me rephrase the question a little bit, because Big Three is a very controversial topic, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people talk about this in basketball or any other topic.
Yeah.
So I think it's only fair to say the Big Three of our era, our decade, right? Our generation.
Right. For now. Yes,
for now.
Our era. What we listen to.
What we listen to, because there, I know there's like, back in the day, you
Yes.
can talk about Kuldeep Maan,
Shinda, Jazzy B,
fucking everyone,
Legendary,
right? The
right?
last one,
Yes.
everyone, right?
Yes.
But I think it's only fair to kind of categorize it into our generation,
Yes.
our listening era.
I would put Diljit in there. 110%. Like, I think without Big Three, without Diljit, there's no Big Three. So just like Sidhu, Diljit has also cracked open a lot of doors for Punjabi music. He has made it very digestible for a lot of Western or even non-Punjabi speakers to listen to Punjabi music. His albums that he has dropped, back-to-back bangers, new EP banger, everything he drops, he has not missed.
Yeah.
So what I do is I always say he's the Drake of our industry, because anything he puts out, it's gonna be a hit.
No, 100%.
Right?
And he definitely experiments with his music as well,
Which I love.
which I really like.
Yes. He sang a little bit in English this time around.
Yeah.
In the EP,
Yeah.
Which bro, he's experimenting.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
It's catchy.
Yeah,
it's catchy. Don't get me wrong.
It's very Cali vibes. Yeah.
I think the third also, I think it would be, I would say AP, man. I would say that whole Brown
AP and
Munde,
the Brown Munde gang.
the Brown Munde group,
Yes,
right?
the group.
Yeah. Because AP is, I would say, he's really experimenting with music, right? The way he sings, so versatile.
Yeah.
GG as well, he has this different like persona to it, you know, when he jumps on a song.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, God damn, like, you
Yeah.
know, people go crazy.
There's no hit without GG. Like, GG has to be on it.
And Shinda comes in, he does his thing.
Apparently he's a great writer. Like, he's been writing a lot of these songs.
Oh yeah?
So that's what I've been hearing. Like, so shout out to Shinda. I don't think he doesn't get.
I don't think he gets a lot of credit. Yeah, for sure.
If he's writing these bangers, bro, buddy, like, you're a single-handed. Like, yeah, incredible.
Shinda does a remarkable job too, man.
Yeah.
Like
his voice is literally
his voice is very nice. Yeah.
I like his voice.
It's definitely it's like the perfect balance,
Yeah.
You have someone that's like very energetic. You have someone that's very like he has that soulful voice. He's very like connecting.
Yeah.
Very meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Shinda that kind of brings it up all together, right? He kind of combines everything together, and honestly, that is amazing to see. Yeah. Right, so shout out to all three guys.
Yes.
I would definitely put even like
So we talked about the big three.
Yeah.
Now give me 3 people that you think can make it to that big 3 eventually.
Dude, I would definitely put Shub up there.
100%. He's one of my favorites right now. I love Shub.
I really love.
He hasn't missed, even though 5 songs, each and every one of it slaps. Every time he puts out a single, it's like a single he puts out. But that's everywhere on TikTok. Everybody's listening to it. Amazing.
His recent song was a baller.
Yeah.
Right? Came out. I listened to it. I'm like, damn, this is definitely going on the charts.
Yeah.
And 2 days, 3 days later,
everywhere.
Number one,
yes.
Right? Yeah. So no, that guy has a lot of potential. I think the only thing with him is it's a waiting game.
Consistency. I guess putting out music.
So I hope he's working on something behind the scenes. An EP, an album, something. An EP for sure. I think it's coming. It's probably early next year, mid next year. I definitely think it's coming. But he has not missed once. But you see the thing is like I think with all these new artists that are up and coming, I think it's a lot more calculated. I think they're starting to realize, okay, how can we differentiate ourselves?
Yeah.
Right? You have that traditional side of music, you have that hip hop side of music. Okay, what do people like to hear? A lot of Shub's songs have been very mellow, very chill. Songs that you could drive through.
It's very car music.
It's very car music, right? And even just like like if you're like playing it in a gathering, people are just like bumping their heads, and just nodding their heads, and it's just like, okay, like it's a different style of music, right? But I think we are in for a great ride for the next couple of years, because so many up and coming artists.
Oh my god, yeah.
And they're all like their taste on their like because music is just something that's so creative, like it could be kind of mixing and mashing with different things.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to these guys for being very creative and very original with their sound.
Who are two other people though? You miss out two other. Who else do you listen to? There's like can't make it to big three.
Dude, that's a very hard one.
Teji?
There's so Tegi Panu, yeah. Teji or Tegi Panu? Tegi, yeah. Tegi Panu, yeah, for sure. He's so far a lot of people know him by Schedule.
Yes.
He has a couple other songs.
Yes.
But
I like Shining too. Shining's good.
But he is definitely up and coming for
He's
sure.
getting some love.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I would say those are the guys, and
I would even say what's the name?
That I would see them becoming as big as these guys.
I think there's also Jassa Dillo and Argent.
Yeah, they're blowing. Those are like they're upcoming. They're like the new.
They have a different sound to them, and I know they recently launched their EPs or whatnot. But
shout out to you guys.
Yeah, definitely up and coming for sure.
Yeah.
And
there's also this guy called Balvan, I think is his name. Sift.
It's a group, yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's a group, yeah.
With the Man Pretend
tour did a music video, yeah.
That song, bro, is amazing. Like I heard that song and I was like, whoa. At first it sounded like a Sony Pablo. Like that guy has a little bit of a Sony Pablo touch to it. Yeah. His voice. Shout out to him because Sony Pablo is one of my favorites. So shout out to Blavan. 100%. That's how he's probably hopefully say his name. But man,
I think it's a group, man. I think it's
a group?
I think so.
That Sith song though?
Yeah.
Unreal. By far. Banger, bro. That song is so good.
Yep.
So yeah. Enough Punjabi talk. Did you watch India-Pakistan match?
Dude.
Like all of the world did, but did you wake up at 4 a.m. here and then watch it?
So I am a little bit guilty. Yes. Right? So I actually woke up at 6. So I missed Pakistan's innings.
It's okay. India's batting.
So what happened was I actually woke up in the morning and I saw the result like of the toss, and I knew that Pakistan was batting first. So I was like, hey, you know what? Whenever we're batting second as an India team,
chasing,
like obviously you have that advantage of knowing what the run is, right? So for me it was like, okay, I'm gonna wake up because bro, honestly, 4 a.m. on a Sunday, it's very hard because. You only get like kind of 2 days to sleep in, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll wake up at 6. I'll sacrifice 2 hours, but it'll be worth it. So I woke up and I saw the total, right, which was 159, so 160 to win. I was like, man, you know what? Like 20 overs should be pretty decent. And watching the first couple of overs. Okay, we're in a little bit of a shaky situation, right? Yeah. Because we lost two early openers, right?
And Rohit.
Yeah. So and then now it's like, okay, man, like we gotta be a little bit cautious, and then we see, okay, Kohli comes in, even so Akshar Patel came in, but he got out very very quickly,
Stump,
right?
Is it?
I think it was a run out or something like that. Yeah. And everyone's like, yes, okay, the top 3 are right. Then comes Hardik Pandya, right? And I think it was a very sensible partnership, a very sensible knock on both people's side because they both knew what pressure they had, but at the same time they're like, okay, let's not let it get to our heads. Let's play sensibly. Let's get our singles and doubles.
Wicket,
right, and stay here, right? Let's not lose our wickets because that was crucial. The minute that, if that were to happen, then
crumbles.
It's just a collapse, right? So anyway, I at the end of 10 overs, I think it was a 44 for 4, right? And I'm just like,
it wasn't looking
dude,
good.
This is not looking good, right? And honestly, so if you watch on TV, they used to have like these predictability. Yeah. And for India, it was literally looking like 10% at one point, right? 10 to 12%, even maybe 15 max. Right. But 85% of the predictor was given to Pakistan because they were put in such a great situation.
And they were kudos to them because they were fielding well, bowling well. Like
they were. And honestly, I think when the last 10 overs kicked in. And there was this one over that they scored, I think, 20 runs. I think that was like the game changer. Because that's when the Indian fan realized that there could be something potential.
There's a chance.
There is a chance, right? And I think the way they executed, the way, you know, they were kind of, they didn't let the pressure get to them. And dude, hats off to Kohli, man. I know Kohli was struggling over the last couple months and a few years.
And he's got this monkey on his back. Like, is he still in form?
Yeah.
Should he
retire?
There's been people, and I'm guilty of it at times. I am frustrated.
Yeah.
I was like, man, maybe it's time to retire.
Came back, I think
unreal.
Yeah.
Big innings. Probably one of his best knocks in a World Cup.
Oh yeah.
To do this against also one of the best matches.
Where the stakes are so high.
Stakes are high, and also like the way he played, and at the end to actually make them win.
Yeah.
It was a little bit Dhoni-like.
Oh yeah.
It was a little bit of it was very clutch.
Yeah.
So here's my comparison to for people that don't watch cricket, Kohli is the LeBron of our era, and he's always catching a ghost, like how LeBron is catching MJ, and he's catching Sachin.
Yeah.
The Luka, right?
Yeah.
Kohli's always chasing this ghost, a legend, who's the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
Sachin. And so I see a lot of like the LeBron in him.
Yeah.
He's done everything. He's been clutch. People are sort of like, no.
Yeah. People doubted him.
So I think that innings almost was like, hey man,
yeah,
I am the best.
Yeah.
The king is back.
Yeah.
Which I think the team is gonna ride that confidence out in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Which is the key thing, because right now there's a lot of upsets, a lot of big teams losing from teams that you would never think.
Dude, today,
Ireland winning and Zimbabwe winning from Pakistan.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. I would never thought of it.
I saw the highlights of that game, today's game, Pakistan versus Zimbabwe.
Right.
Dude, that was kudos to Zimbabwe for winning, but I think the pressure really got to Pakistan.
One
run.
Close, man. Very close. They almost chased it down, but
you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
And like I said,
T20's tricky like that.
It is. Bro,
I like that. Though.
Even the whole India Pakistan game, like I think after, like, I think they needed like 60 runs in 5 overs, right, or some crazy amount like that. But even in the last like 2 overs, even like it was so nail biting, right?
Yeah.
Even that last over, they needed 16 runs. You know, people like, oh man, it's not looking good. They're tired. They're fatigued. They're taking these singles and doubles. Like, what's happening, right? And that classic scenario, I think it was like 13 from 3. You know, that no ball.
Yeah.
And it was very controversial because first it was the no ball, right? And then there was the free hit. So the no ball, obviously you guys have seen TikToks and all these like analogies, but it actually was above his waistline, right? And rightfully the rule basically says that it should be a no ball, right?
No ball, yeah.
Exactly. So anyways, that got whacked for 6.
And like the time it came, it just
right. And so that got whacked for a 6. And then the other main controversy was that free hit. So apparently Pakistan, Pakistan, you know, their team was very.
I watched the game too.
Yeah, no, I know. But just for the people that haven't seen it, right?
Yes.
But they're like, oh, if the ball hit the stumps, it's considered a dead ball.
Dead ball, yes.
But apparently, according to the rules, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. So those like 2-3 runs that they took there, and that last over was nothing other than just nail biter, right? But kudos to both teams. I hope both teams make it to the semis,
because we need another one.
We need another classic, man.
The way they beat us last year in World Cup, the Asia Cup, and this, it's like back and forth.
Yeah,
you don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah,
and it's always very close.
Very, very close.
Even though the last World Cup did not like slap us.
Yeah,
but amazing. Even so, I listened to and watched this great podcast from Australia. It's called The Great Cricketer.
Okay.
There's 2 blokes, like to say it in Australia, the blokes. These guys talk about cricket stuff, just cover everything related. Amazing podcast, one of my favorites. And they were talking about this and how for them to watch, so you being an Australian person and you're watching, you love cricket, you're watching this, was one of the best matches they've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they cover cricket for a living.
No, yeah. I think hands down. I think yeah.
And they literally went to, I think I was watching their podcast, and they literally went at 1 a.m. after the game. They went to their podcast and they were like
What
they were
just
shook.
happened?
They're
What
like,
just
oh my
happened?
god, I
What
don't know
did
where
we
to
see?
start from, right?
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best matches ever.
100%.
To hear that from a cricketing nation who's dominated the country, the sport.
Yeah.
Australia is hands down the best to ever do it in cricket. No one close to
I
it.
wouldn't count England out.
I know, but I'm saying like from history too. Like I'm talking about like from 20 years. Last 20 years, Australia's probably one of the best teams. They've won like so many World Cups, right? Probably the only one that's dominated like that, right? And there's like one of these one-off countries like England, India winning once in a while, but it's like they come through when they need to, right?
Yeah.
A country like that where sport like they are saying that, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the best things they've ever seen. So that speaks volume for the cricket, like the actual sport. And the crowd was apparently it was just full house, just no space there, and people brought their dole and everything. Which
Dude,
is,
that atmosphere,
that
that
whole
whole environment is just probably crazy. I would love to experience one of those games, man.
Me too, man.
That was something, definitely one for the books. I know a lot of people from a lot of places over the world, around the world, traveled to go see that game. Especially, I used to see TikToks of people. People going from Canada
to Australia,
or to England, Dubai, like all over the world, right?
To watch the World Cup.
To watch that, amazing, yeah, exactly. So kudos to both teams. I think we're in for a huge roller coaster for the next couple of weeks.
That's the best thing about the T20 side of the thing, where it's hard to predict. You would think that England is incredible, right? Like you said, don't count England out.
Yeah.
I know they probably have the best lineup in terms of offense, in terms of batting, but they just lost from Ireland. Like what the fuck? Like how did that happen?
Honestly, it was unfortunate, but it was the
but still,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That and it just there's so many upsets, right? And you don't know who clearly is gonna win it.
Yep.
Which makes it very exciting.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the last thing here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your top four. Who do you think is going to be in the semifinals, and then the finals, and who's going to win it? So 3 predictions. Right
so I would say Australia being one of them, India being one of them.
So like I guess.
Oh,
there are
from
sides.
Each group.
It's from each sides, right?
Each group. Okay.
So 2 comes out, right? 2 of them comes out. Okay.
I'm not entirely sure which group is which, but I know.
So India is not from Australia's side.
It's a group. There's a group A and group B, right?
I can give you a breakdown of what teams are in next if you want.
Sure.
The main ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Australia, New Zealand, England are in one side, and so is Sri Lanka in that. I think.
Is Sri Lanka in that?
I think so.
Okay.
And then on the other end, we have Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, South Africa.
So very clear. I think India, South Africa from Group B for sure.
You think so? No Pakistan. No Pakistan.
No, unfortunately.
Huge hot take.
I would say India and South Africa. I mean, after today, I think we. Sorry, guys, please don't come at me. But I think Pakistan really needs to go back on the drawing board and really try to evaluate, because I think that, dude, losing against like today's game against Zimbabwe, I think they should have had that in the bag. So right now, if you look at the points table, they're 0 for 2 right now, right? Which is huge because now you're looking at India.
6 games. Yes. Yeah.
I believe so. Something like that. But if you look at India, they're 2-0 right now. Right? You look at Pakistan, they're 0-2. Right? So if you're being very realistic in terms of
South Africa's 1.
I think they're either 1-1 or.
So anyway, I think South Africa still has more games than them, right?
Yeah.
So the scenario for Pakistan to actually win depends on them winning every single match now going forward, plus South Africa losing 1 more.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Something like that, but anyways.
Which is what India's been through a lot of that in the Asia Cup and in the World Cup.
Dude. It's
yeah.
unfortunate when you have to look at anomalies like these, where you're like, hey, will we progress because on another team's thing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are. It's technically a
Then India can
situation,
lose the
but
next two, and then
Yeah.
we're talking the same game.
we're talking. Yeah, but honestly, dude, like the way the magnitude and the momentum that they have on their side, I think.
So those
I think
two,
they're
okay.
good. Yeah,
So
and
what
then
about the other side?
from the other side, I would say it's definitely Australia. You know, and I think I would personally say either New Zealand or Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. You think so?
I think
I
so.
think Sri Lanka lost a lot though.
Sri Lanka is
lost
1-1, I think.
Oh.
I think so.
Anyways, I don't. Okay, that's
So those are my two takes.
That's a big hot take. You have two hot takes in there. I like that.
What about you?
So those are we'll work our way up eventually
Okay,
once we get
okay,
like the top four for sure. Okay, so from the India Pakistan side, I still think Pakistan will pull it up. Like they will somehow make it work, and there will be a semifinal. I'm predicting that there's gonna be a.
I hope to see that.
I know people want
I
that,
hope to see
but
that.
I'm putting it out in the universe
Okay.
that India Pakistan semifinals will happen. Those two teams are gonna come out, in my opinion, because
Okay.
I believe Pakistan's gonna come from the bottom, and they're gonna come win a lot of these games, and then South Africa's gonna lose at least one game. Come on, like if they're facing India at least once, and they're facing I think Sri Lanka once. I don't know. One upset is all it takes, right? So I'm hoping for that, and I'm predicting for that. Other side, New Zealand.
Okay.
I think New Zealand is a very underrated team. People think like they're probably the most consistent out of all these teams. They're always in the semifinals or the finals. So New Zealand, and they're winning right now. I don't think they have lost any games so far. So that for sure. And this is a tough one. England or Australia. This is a really tough one. Damn it. Australia. So, and that's incredible because Australia and New Zealand is also a rivalry. It's also like a very, really,
They're
really
close. They're
it's the same thing as India-Pakistan match.
Yeah.
So that would be an incredible semifinals of its own.
Yeah.
Where like India-Pakistan and then Australia-New Zealand.
I hope so.
Crazy double-decker headliners right there, bro.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect scenario for the World Cup.
100%. I just hate the time zone, man.
The time zone. Yeah.
Waking up super
4
early.
a.m.
Yeah, that's next level dedication.
Yes. I don't think I could do that for all games, but
Yeah.
I'll probably do it for the semifinals.
Yeah, of course.
In the finals, excuse me.
Of course.
But only for India, and probably not gonna watch. If India gets knocked out, I'm probably gonna just watch highlights after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you say that New Zealand, Australia, India, Pakistan, what would you pick out of to go to the finals?
I'd say India, Australia.
India, Australia?
We're seeing a recap of 2015 World Cup, but in T20 format.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
Your hot take? India, Australia. I would say India, New Zealand.
Okay.
Right? And India's gonna redeem themselves for getting knocked out by New Zealand in the semifinals a couple years ago. The last World Cup. The 50-50 one, I think. So India's gonna redeem themselves from New Zealand. That's gonna be the storyline.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Let's see.
India wins it all, which is
I think they will win it all.
with the momentum going towards they're
a very strong team.
Yes.
And I think they have what it takes to get to
So here's why I think we're being a little bit obviously
we're definitely biased. I would definitely say we
are because we want that to happen.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm being very honest with you, they are doing well right now. That's why we're like, oh, India's gonna win. But if you asked me before India played on any of these games, I don't think India was gonna be in the semifinals with this team.
Really?
Reason being, batting is good. Bowling, who do you? Boomer's not there, man.
I know, but dude, have you seen Arshdeep?
I love Arshdeep, but this is his first World Cup.
Yeah, but dude, the way he's been bowling,
he's been good. But it's one player, right? You can't depend on because that's very pressure on him.
Very true.
He can give you what 3-4 overs.
Yeah.
There's still 16 overs left.
Yeah.
Correct. So I think our bowling side, and I'm happy with Rohit Sharma's team that he's taken, the bowling side he has been taking, because he's been taking like a different side every time.
Mhm.
I'm happy with the Ashwin addition. Thank you for doing that, bro, because he can bat a little bit. Chahal, I'm not happy with Chahal. Like, he can bowl, but like batting and filling is not a thing. So I was happy he put Ashwin in there because he can do a little bit of something else too.
Mhm.
Ajax, or is it Ajax? I always say Ajax. Akshar Patel.
Yeah. There's an X in his name. AXAR, I think.
I always fuck this up. Patel, Mr. Patel, great addition. I mean, I would want my boy Jadeja, who's my favorite player, on the team. Injuries happen. I think because of injuries, I think I was not picking India because Jadeja and Bumrah, main two key players, are not going to be in that team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Arshdeep and Shami and all these guys have done a great job to kind of fill the gap.
Mm-hmm. But
But they have a huge shoe to fill. Like it's a huge shoe.
Yeah.
Bumrah is probably one of the best to ever play for India as a bowler in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So to fill that shoe, Arshdeep's it's gonna be hard, but he's doing a great job.
He's doing an amazing job.
Amazing job, but it's gonna be tough when the big games come, when the
100%.
semifinals and finals,
Yeah.
when the nerves are there, and when
A lot
the
of
best
pressure.
of the best are right in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that with that, I still kind of feel like India might not with the team they had, but with the momentum and the positive energy have they going on with the Kohli's knock, I think they have the momentum, what it takes to maybe take it. Let's be hopeful. Fingers crossed. Good luck to all the teams. This has been a great episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, brother. Good luck to all the teams and good luck. I mean, this was fun chatting about the Punjabi industry
100%.
stuff too.
100%.
A lot of fun stuff
A
happening
lot
there
of
as well.
insights. And also, one last thing before we conclude.
Yes,
Congratulations to our boy Rishi. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
he's been holding it down. A
A
first.
little bit controversial.
Not
Okay.
really.
Well, first
Not
Asian.
really. Well,
leader.
first I would say first prime minister of a color
Color in
descent
UK,
coming
right?
into the UK, right?
Europe even, right?
Definitely UK, right?
Yeah.
Or so shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Pay
You know,
those taxes, brother.
yeah,
Make sure your wife pays those taxes.
dude, he is he's quite rich, man.
He's
He
quite rich.
married the I think it's Infosys is a company in India. The
Yeah.
owner or founder, his
He's a
daughter.
billionaire.
Yeah. So
Yes, and he's a finance bro at heart. He's a
Yeah.
hedge fund manager before, so hopefully they can manage those finances for UK because then it's not looking really
It's
great
not really
right
looking
now.
good for them.
So
Yeah,
hopefully he can come through with that.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. For more episodes like this, go follow us on Spotify and YouTube. You can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram for short clips and updates. For now, peace and love.